Hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. In this video we're going to be looking at the top 10 games on Evercade according to myself. Obviously bear in mind every single person that owns Evercade will have a different opinion to what the best games are. So if you don't agree with what I've included in this video, that is absolutely fine. So I have whittled the games down to 25 and then I further whittled them down to the top 10 that you see in this video. So games that did not make this video were Tanzer, Tanglewood, Xenocrisis, Flea, Roneo's Tale, World Rally, Lee, Quack, Grunio Zerker Trilogy, Duke Nukem Remastered 2, Duke Nukem 3D, Donut Dodo, Creatures, Batsigan and Cathedral. I guess that probably will make you wonder what the heck made my top 10. Without further ado guys, let's get stuck into the video and please leave comments at the end of what your top 10 games are on Evercade. Let's go. Okay guys, first up it's I Was Awakening from the Jewel Cart with Cathedral, and I thought this game was fantastic. Now I have to stress I have not ranked the games in this video, I've just chosen 10 of the best games in my opinion, and I thought this one definitely deserved to be there. An adventure style game, it probably takes maybe about 6 to 8 hours to complete, and what a game it is. I could not put it down. I thoroughly enjoyed the experience, getting the different pickups and the power ups, that type of thing, and I prefer it to Cathedral. I find Cathedral far too difficult and frustrating, where this game is brilliant. Next up it's Duke Nukem 1 Remastered from the Duke Nukem Collection 1. This was released late last year and I still regard this as one of the best games and one of the best carts that you'll play on Evercade. Blaze have done a fantastic job in the remasters. This was obviously originally a DOS game where it was a little box, but they've made some amazing improvements with the sort of graphics, that you see the scrolling in the background, the sound effects, the music that's been added, the sort of save states, the stats, the widescreen. They have done a phenomenal job and definitely one of those reasons to pick up an Evercade to play this game. Probably something of an exclusive still at this point, and hopefully that will continue. It's brilliant stuff. Now I haven't picked Duke Nukem 2 because I just didn't quite get the same enjoyment out of the second game as I did the first. Even though it's probably improved in many ways, I still found the first one to be more of a rewarding experience and I just preferred to play that one. The second one is probably a little bit more difficult. This one, fantastic stuff. Next up, and this might surprise a lot of people, this is Romeo and Juliet from Mega Cat Studios Collection 2, and still one of my most favourite collections ever released. Quite puzzle heavy, obviously not for everyone, but this game I absolutely loved. It's a cross between Tetris and Columns, and the idea is to try and place the blocks you can see at the bottom there onto the grid, and then create lines that you're obviously see at the bottom left there that you're trying to reach, and then move on to the next stage. Thoroughly addictive stuff, and definitely one best on the handheld, I would say, and one for maybe playing on the go for a quick 5-minute bash. I suppose 5 minutes could easily turn into an hour or two. Thoroughly addictive stuff, and I really enjoyed this game. I could not put it down. It really was that good. Next up, it's Good Boy Galaxy. This obviously shares the dual cart along with Witch and Wiz. What a great game this was. A Metroidvania platform action adventure style game from the Game Boy Advance. What a terrific title this is. Very new as well, which is even more of a bonus. And very rewarding, very highly polished. Excellent stuff. The only thing I obviously found missing a little bit was maybe the lack of direction at times. I find that I was over exploring time and time again a lot of the different sort of levels and getting a little bit lost. But overall, still an amazing game and one that should be on pretty much everyone's top 10 lists on Evercade. Next up, and this one might also be considered a surprise, this is Big Too Small from Indie Heroes Collection 3. I absolutely love this game, a puzzle game where you're trying to put the animals onto the respective sort of food thing. You've got the goat for the apple, the peanut for the elephant and the cheese for the mouse. But the trick is, once you push the animal to one side, they keep on moving till they hit a obviously solid object, whether that be another animal, a rock, or a hedge or whatever it is. But it is extremely tough, very addictive though. It probably took me about 6 weeks to actually complete it. Some of the levels I was stuck on for a long time, but it was so addictive I just kept on coming back until I got that level complete. Amazing stuff, I absolutely loved it. It's basic but absolutely brilliant. So next up we have Soul Reaver from the Legacy of Kain Collection 1, and at the time of this video this was barely released, but still warrants to be included on pretty much anyone's top 10 best games, maybe even top 10 best games on PlayStation. This is obviously the original PlayStation game, the classic title. It's kind of loosely based on the mechanics of the Tomb Raider games, but modified into this sort of wonderfully dark 3D platforming style game. Excellent stuff, really enjoyed playing through it once again. I didn't finish it back in the day, so hopefully fingers crossed I can make some progress and finally finish it on the Evercade with a little bit of help obviously from the save states, because it does get a little bit tricky and you definitely explore back and forth quite a lot through the game. But excellent stuff, very stylish, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be on board to Evercade and brand new due to this game. What a game it is.
Find their rest.
Okay, next up is Euphoria from Sunsoft Collection 2. Now, initially when I first played this, I actually dismissed it. I wasn't really getting into it. I think playing Mr. Gimmick from the first game probably put me off it a little bit because that is brutally tough. This is nowhere near as difficult as those games. Certainly is quite challenging, but it's nowhere near as frustrating as Mr. Gimmick. This is a great little adventure game where you can switch between the 4 different characters who have 4 different types of skills which you need to access different parts of the game. The game itself is absolutely huge, and I enjoyed playing it from start to finish. I got completely hooked, completely addictive, and I absolutely loved it. There is also a sequel to this which was released a few months back on the Switch and on Steam, so if you're interested in playing more, have a look at it. It's still really cool stuff. And this game itself, brilliant. Don't dismiss it based on the graphics or based on the simplistic nature of it. It will absolutely grab you and not let go. Interestingly, I did experience a few bugs throughout the game with save states and a few other things, but other than that, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was terrific. So this is Full Void, Evercade's one and only single cart game. Does it warrant being a single cart? Probably not, because it is very short at 3 to 4 hours, but those 3 to 4 hours absolutely ooze quality. Everything about it, from the music, the sound effects, the atmosphere that the game creates, the story, the flashbacks, all those secrets that you can unlock to get that 100% completionist in the game is fantastic. I absolutely loved the experience of playing this game, and once I started, I didn't do it in segments. I had to keep playing it. It really was that addictive, and I was really invested into the story. Yes, it is very short, but still I think it's brilliant. It does remind me of Flashback in Another World, but personally I actually think this game is better than those 2 games. So next up is The Sword of Ayana from the Home Computer Heroes Collection 1, and this game is so good. I couldn't believe that you could actually download this game for free on the MSX. I think this is probably one of the very few games on the MSX on Evercade, and it's certainly one of the best games you'll ever play on Evercade. Wonderfully retro style, colourful graphics. Now that music is something else as well. Brilliant. I could just stand still and listen to that music on that first level. Terrific stuff. It's quite a huge game as well. That definitely surprised me. It will take you a good 6 to 8 hours, maybe even longer, to actually complete this game. Once you actually master the mechanics, especially of the fighting, basically you need to try and take a step back every time you sort of take a swing so you don't take a hit from these enemies. Once you sort of master that, you will become hooked and addicted on this title. You will probably have to explore and return back forth through certain stages of the game, and it might get a little bit frustrating. Sometimes it's actually quite easy to get lost, but it's also very easy to get hooked and completely addictive to that gameplay and the style. There's lots of big massive bosses to take care of as well, but wow, I couldn't believe how good this game was. I couldn't believe I'd never even heard of it, and it is actually a fairly new game, and it's one of those games you really should not miss. Go and get Home Computer Heroes Collection 1 and play this game, it's so good. So the final game in my top 10 is Tomb Raider from Tomb Raider Collection 1. This game is so good. I absolutely love the experience of playing through it again. Yes, it does get very tricky. Those save states certainly help, especially in those later levels. It does get ridiculously hard. I even got lost plenty of times and forgot where I was going, what I was supposed to do, but I kept retracing my steps. I even had to check through some walkthroughs to figure out what the hell I was missing, but still I loved the experience of playing through this iconic PlayStation title once again. It truly is a landmark title, and it's amazing that this is actually on Evercade. Okay guys, so that's my top 10 picks, or my 10 picks as the best games on Evercade. Now I'm pretty sure everyone watching will have their own top 10, they'll have different opinions, you might agree with some of these, you might not, and that's absolutely fine. So let me know in the comments what your 10 favourites are, or even just your favourite games that you love on Evercade. Now sadly there are a lot of poor games on Evercade, which we have covered in recent videos, but just as equally there are tons of excellent games on there that I've really enjoyed playing. Obviously some of them playing for the first time, some experiencing all over again, albeit with some save states to maybe make the game a little bit more enjoyable and maybe even finish the game that I never could back in the day. But I think these 10 are excellent titles and titles that you really should play right now. Now obviously I have missed a lot of games that you could have arguably put in this video that I've not even mentioned. I'm pretty sure you'll let me know in the comments. I could have put Tanzer in, I could have put Tanglewood, Xeno Crisis, Flea, World Rally, Rono's Tale, Duke Nukem 2, Quack, Grunio Zerka Trilogy, Batsigan, Cathedral. There are tons to mention, and obviously I could only pick 10. It's getting harder and harder the more games that come onto Evercade. Anyway guys, thanks very much for watching. We'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.